Do we remember lovely old Liu Xiaoming?
We do remember Liu Xiaoming. He is the Chinese ambassador to England, or the UK, I should say.
Yeah.
People always get mad when I say England.
Yeah.
The UK, sorry.
Yeah.
And we know we already covered this, but there's a reason we're bringing it back up, because the Chinese ambassador to the UK, when he gets caught liking a pornographic tweet, it is the fault of the evil Western powers.
Yes, absolutely. And we wanted to compare him to the, China demands Twitter inquiry as ambassador to UK likes a porn tweet. Remember that?
Embassy claims anti-China hackers behind vicious attack on Liu Xiaoming's account.
Remember, a vicious attack is liking a foot fetish thing.
If you're a hacker trying to take down this ambassador's account, the only thing you do would be to like one picture.
Yeah, exactly.
On Twitter.
Yeah,
that's
vicious,
what you would
vicious
do.
anti-China forces.
Yes.
But now we're going to look at the complete opposite, which is now the British ambassador in China, in Chongqing, right? If you haven't heard about the story yet, a young student was drowning, almost dead, unconscious, floating down the river in front of literally tens of, at least 100 people there, right? In this tourist spot. If you look at the footage, there's at least 100 people around there. Nobody jumped in to save this girl, and this is a problem I've talked about in China before. It's a big societal problem because people are too concerned and worried that they're going to get blamed and sued. You can also say it's bystander effect to a certain degree. Definitely. Which I hate it when people always blame it on bystander effect, because this proves that wrong.
Sure, bystander effect is rampant in China.
It is. It's a huge thing. And also people just don't want to get involved because it's inconvenient. So it's kind of like this, for lack of a better word, a cowardly thing that happens in China when somebody's hurt. And you hear it quite often, like a young child will get run over by a car and people just walk past as, they're dying there, and then they die. Or it happens all the time when somebody who could have been saved, collapsed in the subway or something. And they could have been saved if somebody just stepped in to help. But people just ignore them and they die. So that's what was happening here, is this woman fell in the river, a student, young woman, and she was about to die. And this elderly diplomat jumped in, British guy, obviously, jumped in and
70,
saved her.
75 or something?
He's an old man.
Older, yeah.
But, okay, this is something that I've noticed because I've stepped in myself a bunch of times in China when there's been someone who needs help. And it's always the foreigner jumping in to help somebody, which is kind of embarrassing for China, and it's a loss of face. So I pointed it out on Instagram that, this is a sad reality in China. It takes an old foreign man to jump in and save somebody who is in need, where you've got literally tens of, if not 100 young, healthy, you can look at the picture here, all these people are in their 20s and thereabouts, young, healthy, local Chinese people, and not one of them jumped in to save her.
Yeah, I heard a bunch of counter arguments that this is collectivism and has nothing to do with whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a collective culture. You would see the same thing in other Asian countries, and that's bullshit, because if you look at any social experiments, if you compare Korea, Japan, Taiwan to China, where they drop something or someone needs help, it is wildly different how things happen. Yeah. Everyone a lot of people will step up to help in those countries.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Taiwan, which are Chinese people, right?
Yeah.
That will go out of their way to help. I've noticed that, people helping me
they
on
do.
the street in Taiwan. But then you have this, again, not to say bystander effect, but in China, it's just, it's not the culture. It's not a deficiency of the Chinese people.
No.
It's literally down to government selfishness. It's what you learn when you're living in a cutthroat, selfish society.
Absolutely. It's built into society through all the policies, like you say, of the government, but also those past cases where people have been successfly sued for helping someone.
That too, yeah.
Helping an old person,
broken system.
And then they are the ones who have to end up paying for their medical bills and stuff. So people don't want to get involved, but whatever the case is, it sparked this very interesting argument with both Chinese nationalists and Western Sinophiles and sympathizers and stuff with me. First of all, the first thing everybody said was, well, it's because most Chinese people can't swim. And I have to actually say that is true from my experience, that most of the Chinese people I met cannot swim, which was a bizarre thing to me. When I used to teach it doesn't matter which level. I taught all different kinds of age groups, and I taught businesses and doctors and everything. One of the things that always struck me was, first of all, how few Chinese people have broken bones. Mm-hmm. And secondly, how few Chinese people can actually swim. Because I'd ask that in the classroom. I'd say, how many of you can swim? And there's a class of 50 people. Like 2 or 3 people would put up their hands. And this was bizarre to me, especially since Shenzhen is on the coast. Mm-hmm. So you've got the sea is right there. You know, there are rivers and stuff. And very few people could swim. But also the lack of broken bones, because I guess it's the kind of childhood of being shielded by the grandmothers and... You know, study
also
is
growing
more
up
important.
In apartments and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, not like I broke my collarbone a few times with a rib. And, you know, we're growing up climbing trees, riding motorbikes.
Because we're messing around outside.
Yeah, it's true. Anyway, the fact of the matter is, yes, okay. So a lot of Chinese people can't swim, but that's still not a good excuse that no one even attempted to help. You know what I mean? Next thing is they also start saying, you don't understand how dangerous it is to try and rescue a drowning person because, you know, they're flailing around and you will drown yourself. And then they start linking to articles of how other people have drowned trying to save people and stuff. So basically what you get is you get this defensive nonsense where people are basically telling you, don't try to rescue someone who's about to die because you might die. It's very selfish, okay? Don't try to rescue somebody because, well, we don't know how to swim anyway. It's all this nonsense, all this justification. But at the end of the day, there is no justification for not trying to help someone who's about to die. She was unconscious. She wasn't even flailing around. She's floating like a piece of garbage down the river. And it got me thinking a little bit because there was so much backlash. And I was thinking, well, what about this? Let's look in the background. Our famous...
Is that a Snickers bar?
Looks like a turd floating in the river, to be honest.
Oh, it's Chairman Mao.
But our famous Chairman Mao, as we can see, is an incredibly strong swimmer, as you can tell from this footage here, this very famous footage of him swimming. He sparked a revolution, more than one, okay, in China. But he sparked this kind of let's all learn how to swim revolution in China, as you can see. Because he made it very famous or very popular to swim. And I was wondering whatever happened to that. Why is it that Chinese people don't swim these days? What's wrong? What went wrong? You know? Because he inspired a nation to learn.
There's definitely
how to
a resurgence.
swim.
Like, I agree with you that the majority, like my wife didn't know how to swim properly. But
yeah, my wife doesn't know how to swim properly either.
The wealthy, I've since taught her, but the wealthy generation of new people, it's definitely taking off, especially in cities with pools. I had a lot of clients that were swimming. But anyway, it wasn't because of Mao. And actually, it's very fascinating. I read a ton of books on Mao. My favorite one is his doctor.
Yeah.
He would always recommend that Mao wouldn't go swimming in these rivers because they were so polluted and so dangerous and bad for his health. But he loved it so much, and he thought it was a very important part of his propaganda campaign. Yeah. Right? So he pushed swimming like crazy, and I guess that just died off eventually.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, it's just kind of interesting. So you can juxtapose... sorry, there's a juxtaposition. Hang on, wait for it. Why is there no audio? Is the audio cut out of that?
No.
That's annoying. It's supposed to be audio. Anyway, we're disappointed is what we're trying to get at here. Okay. We are we're disappointed with the fact that the ambassador, the Chinese ambassador in the UK is such a piece of crap that likes foot fetish stuff and then blames foreign interference powers because he liked the foot fetish. To it. Yeah, but then we have the UK ambassador in Chongqing saving people's lives.
Right.
And by the way, very big, heartfelt thanks for him being an actual human being to step forward.
Yes.
Because very often I've been disappointed by humanity when I'm in China. It's so disappointing, and it's good that he can set an example because his actions actually made it into like the Global Times, which, as we know, the Global Times just hates the West.
Well, I mean, the internet ran with it, so they can't hide it, right?
Yeah.
I was most impressed with his reaction. He didn't really take credit. He was like, you know what, I had a lot of help afterwards, and this kind of thing happens. Yeah. Which shows he's a humble and nice person.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Instead of blaming the actions of hostile forces when you accidentally look at porn and like it.
Exactly.
Own up to it, brah.
Yeah. You know, we also have to own up to is that we have jackhammers outside our window.
It's not my jackhammer.
It's like we're back in China.
I can shut it.
Welcome to the Royal Rumble.
Who do you want to see get their ass whipped the most?
I must say, I'm very biased against the Shilza. I hope they all get a beat down.
We have no idea what's going to happen in this match.
Cannot wait.
Are you ready to rumble?
Sarah AI.
Take a look at that. She's showing off. Is Tractor gonna throw Chinese Ox out?
Cool
It's Cool Gamer Nathan.
My
Subway
goodness.
Wonder Man. Subway Wonder Man.
Is he out? Flying through the air like a missile and slammed into the mat. Neo Dentec!
Oh, Chinese Ox out of the way.
Oh, and it's Clapback. This roster.
Oh, Sina's out. Wait, I'm kicking your ass now? What's going on? Look, everybody wants Raging Roger out of there.
Raging Roger's out!
Oh, well.
Oh,
He's going for strike, brother.
Wow.
Oh, that was close. I cannot believe it.
Oh, my goodness.
That is, that's insane.